Good morning everyone. If you can remember from Monday, we were looking at some different shading techniques that you might like to use in your final piece. You should already have your mood board ready to go and thinking about now how we can share all of these feelings within our final piece. You may want to focus on a particular one, or you may want to try and incorporate all of those within a piece. And the important thing to remember is there's no right or wrong way to do this. It is completely up to you. Maybe that you have a particular symbol or object in mind that you think could help represent those feelings, and that is absolutely brilliant. Nobody's piece should look like anybody else's because it's personal to you. The most important thing is you know why you've chosen to do whatever you've chosen to do. I'm going to be talking you through a little bit of my final piece today, and then you're going to be going off, and you have until the end of the day on Monday, next Monday. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time on Monday afternoon to finish this, as well as tomorrow afternoon and this afternoon. And then hopefully we'll start to see some lovely pieces of work coming in. So if you can remember from last week, I was speaking about the work of the artist on the board here. I love how her work is so vibrant and colourful. I love the idea of a rainbow being represented through the different colours, although not directly as a rainbow, because it doesn't have to be just a rainbow to be a rainbow. We could talk about those colours representing that hope and light at the end of the tunnel. Remember that light at the end of the tunnel is a period of difficulty coming to an end. So we're sort of thinking about all of our feelings during this period of time, but also about that hope that's now present as we're starting to come out of the lockdown and this period of time is starting to come to an end. So I was really inspired by the colours and the use of different objects within Carolyn Eardley's work, who's on the board, and she has inspired the idea for my final piece. So we're going to have a look at that today, but again, your work could include maybe a part of this, or it doesn't have to be linked to this work at all. This was just a personal idea to me, and it may be that you take something from it, or it may be that you think, oh, I've got my own idea, and of course that's absolutely wonderful as well. The other day we looked at some different shading techniques to remember within our final piece. Remember, we're not just going for just normal colouring in, although a lot of people will be using colouring pencils and felt pens. Brilliant, but let's just think back to all our fantastic shading techniques within our final piece to really get that quality coming through. Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to be having a look today at my final piece design again. I might add to it along the way as well. I'm just going to start by showing you a few things that I'm going to be focusing on. Do remember I've got my tree signalling the growth of time that we've gone through and the period of time. This leads into a love heart, because I think love has been an overwhelming feeling over this period of time. So, you know, thinking about caring and helping and spending time with others and showing that care in different ways has been so important during the pandemic. I've got a waterfall here because I loved her waterfall, and I really thought that might be something that a water signifies, hope and clarity, and it's essential, isn't it? So we've had to make sure that we've drunk a lot of water as well, just things like that where we think, do you know what, actually water is vital. This period of time, water has been as vital as it is in every other walk of life when we're thinking about our essentials and keeping healthy. That's been really important. Got a flower to signify that, you know, that things are still popping up and things are still growing and things are still building and things are still continuing to bloom during this period of time as well. So I've got a few things there that I'm going to start working on now. I'm going to think about my sketching and shading techniques. Remember that we said the other day as well, your colours do not need to match the colours that would traditionally be associated with those objects. It really is up to you, but I'm going to go for, we'll start with a waterfall first, and I'm going to just start hatching here. It's fine also to leave bits white. You don't always have to be everything coloured in. And remember, we don't always have to just use one colour when we are colouring in. And then I'm thinking about my hatching. Hatching, you might have long sections and also mini sections. You might have thicker sections, and then you may have thinner sections, thinner lines. And then I'm going to start to build that out that way. I'm going to move on to a bit of grey, I think, because sometimes it has been a little bit grey. Think about the things that could represent that, you know, that sadness as well. So I might even pop like a big sort of grey cloud over here, just to sort of signify that, you know, it's not all been easy. It's been quite tricky sometimes. It's been quite frustrating, as we know, but then we've had to accept what we've had to do. I'm going to start to, might do a little bit of contouring here just to show little puddles and things. And slowly starting to fill in. Remember, I'm not colouring in. I'm not just going, I'm really thinking about this hatching now. And I can make sections lighter and darker by using my lines really carefully. And you can curve the lines round as well to show movement of water. And it's about that care and precision when it comes to your shading. So again, just be thinking, you know, I want this to look as professional as I possibly can, and I'm going to make that look lovely just through understanding why I have actually drawn this particular item inside my work. I'm going to go up to that because that's, I'm not sure what that's going to be yet, but that's obviously signalling the top of the waterfall. So all I've done there is lots of little lines, and I've used the hatching technique to start off my waterfall and a little bit of contouring at the bottom. So you may wish to do a little waterfall as well. I've seen Ruby W, she's got a lovely river running through hers, which is a really lovely idea. It doesn't have to be a landscapey sort of picture at all. It might be a portrait, it could be absolute, might be a mountain, it could be weather related. It is absolutely up to you, no right or wrong. Okay, I'm going to move on to do my flower now. I love the use of pointer stippling in the centre of this flower here, and also it looks like contour shading around the outside, but actually you can see I've taken my idea sort of from this. It's not the whole one, it's sort of popping out a little bit more like a plant. So they've both got little bits within the centre, haven't they? So what I thought I would probably do is some bumpy bits within that, trying to get a little bit of texture in there. Remember, this flower is signalling the hope and new life, because I don't know about you as well, but over the course of the pandemic I've noticed so many things growing and coming to life, which has been amazing. Fresh leaves, gorgeous plants in people's gardens, and when I've been out on walks just looking at the beautiful flowers everywhere, really makes you appreciate everything that we have got. Let's have a look. I'm just going to outline that Some things need outlining more than others, don't they? Some things don't necessarily need outlining, but some things really work better with a bit of an outline. And you could may want to just sort of cross hatch the background where it's a bit white at the moment, and then I think I'm going to do some pointillism, some stippling over the top. Trying to think about colours that contrast and work well together, complement each other. I've seen a lot of plants that are oranges, reds, pinks, which sort of inspired me for these colours. I've not really seen too many blue ones, or even yellow ones, although I did see some nice yellow roses the other day, which were beautiful, but I'm just going to sort of try and focus on. So I've done some cross hatching there. I'm just going to now, I think, do some beautiful little bits of stippling, just like that one on the, and I might even just add to my detail here as well. I'm just going to add in some lines just to develop that, and then I'm going to add some stippling just in those gaps, just to add that little bit more depth. So again, we're looking for that application of different shading techniques, and I'm aiming to completely fill the page, but you may, I've got quite a large piece of paper here, I've got an A3, yours might even just be a little square or something. Don't think and panic I have to do it really big. No, there's absolutely no rules on size or shape of paper or colour of paper. If you don't have white paper, that doesn't matter. Maybe a lovely blue or black or anything would look amazing. So there is completely no rules, and it's more about you understanding what you've drawn and why you've decided to draw it, which only you will know. So we're just going to, I'm just going to finish off this flower. I'm going to do some contouring like I did the other day on the flower, because I think personally I thought that worked really well. So just following the contours of the petal, slowly fading it out and wrapping it around, and then I'm going to add a bit of my orange into that as well. So we can see that flower is starting to come together. There we go, and again, following the contours of the petal before trying to make that slightly more 3D. I like the bronze the other day that we used, and just find a bit of bronze to wrap through there. Remember, there's no rules. Blend your colours, use different combinations, try out new things before you pop them on your page if you wish. My flower is quite a happy sort of representation of this period of time, isn't it? We talked about, new life and things, so consider those colours as well carefully. And that overlaps that, so I'm just actually gonna, I think I might go over that star and then maybe just dip into that star later with the bottom part. Okay, so you can see how we've been talking about not only what we're drawing, but the reasons for it. There's no rules when it comes to size, there's no rules when it comes to shape of paper, there's no rules to what media you're going to use, whether that's colouring pencils or felt pens or brush pens or whatever you've got at home. And it will just be lovely to see your ideas starting to come together and your understanding and explanations about why you have drawn what you've drawn. So I'm really looking forward to starting to see your final pieces coming through. Remember, you've got until the end of Monday to submit them. You're going to have time this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, and also Monday afternoon to complete your final pieces. So please don't rush. take your time, think about what you're drawing and colouring and painting, if you're painting, whatever you're doing, and enjoy. I can't wait to see all of your work coming through. See you all soon.